So I got to know about the Atul Subash case yesterday, and I watched the 1 hour 20-minute video he posted on YouTube. That was not surprising to me because I already got to know about this recently. At that point, I was very surprised. I used to call myself a feminist as long as I remember being woke, but I watched the documentary, The Red Pill, on YouTube, and after that, I stopped calling myself a feminist because at that point, I was so surprised of all the issues that men face because of the legal system and the society and the feminists, and I was just mind blown. I was not at all aware of that side of the issue because I was just not exposed to it. I always thought women are the ones being exploited and oppressed and tortured by the patriarchal society. But the thing is, at the other end of the spectrum, men are also being exploited and oppressed and tortured by women. It's just that because the society has been male dominated, more women were oppressed since a very long time, and therefore that has become the mainstream narrative. Like women are oppressed by men, and that's all. Like there is no other side to it. If there is any issue between a man and a woman, most probably man is the cause, and the woman is the one who is being a victim there. Literally, in any marriage scenario, if there is a fight between a man and a woman, our first thought goes to thinking, okay, the man must be at fault. The woman must be a victim there. It's like there is two kinds of conditioning that is rampant in the society. One side of it is men are superior, women are inferior. When we are men means power, men means all that stupid shit. And then the other side of the conditioning is because we were conditioned in that stupid way, we have to oppose it and we have to stand with women and against all those people who stupidly think they're superior to women just because they're men. And because of this whole conditioning, men who become feminists, they completely ignore the side where men can also be victims and women are the perpetrators. And I think it's like gaslighting also. If a man says I'm the victim in a certain situation, nobody believes him. And the women who perpetrate this kind of oppression, they are taking advantage of the situation, and they even say stuff like, go bro, do whatever you want, let's see who will believe you. Apparently this was actually what Amber said to Johnny Depp, paraphrased obviously. It came out during one of the court trials. So the documentary I watched was The Red Pill, and I think it was shot by an American, and the whole statistics that was being used in the documentary was from the US. So the laws, everything, the sections, the laws that she mentioned in that documentary, they were all from the United States and applies only to the United States. So I was thinking maybe it is different in India. I was not sure, but right now because this Atul Subash case came up and because it is trending right now, I started looking into it and I watched a documentary, Martyrs of Marriage, on YouTube. This one is made by an Indian, and the statistics and the laws used in the documentary are for India. So apparently there is not even a wrongful paternity law in India. This law actually exists in United States, but it's just that nobody cares about it. Like if somebody, the men who file for this case, they just don't win because even though the law exists on paper, the people who enforce the law, they don't really take this seriously. But in India, that law doesn't even exist. So there is this law in India, 498A, which is basically about dowry. When a man and or his family is torturing the wife for dowry, then the wife can file a case against the man and his family, and all of them will be arrested without question. This law literally gives ultimate power to women, and it takes away everything from man and his family. One thing to notice here is, while the law was actually introduced to protect and give justice to those women who are actually being victimized, this law is being misused by both men and women from the wife's family and being used to oppress and torture both men and women of the husband's family. So it's not like this law is just being taken advantage of by evil women against innocent men. This law is actually being responsible for a lot of damage and injustice on both innocent men and women by evil men and women. There are so many innocent men who have committed suicide because of their wives like filing a case against them under this law. I was actually telling about this case to my mother yesterday, and she was like, why did he commit suicide? He should have fought. The thing here is, once this case is filed against men, the law is literally biased against men. Like, there is nothing there, there is no way for a man to escape out of it. There is no way for a man to get justice once a case under this section has been filed against them. If they are actually innocent, the only way a man can get justice if he is fighting against this case is if he continues to go to court, continues to fight for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Why should anyone have to fight a case which is completely bullshit and then have to waste 15, 20 years of their life? If they don't want to go down this path, the other option is to pay whatever amount the woman and her family are demanding. The amount is not even going to be reasonable. It's going to be so much that it's literally impossible for many of these men to even pay that amount. There are a few cases where these men actually did pay out those huge sums of amount and then they got out of the case. But there are also many cases where men continued to pay the amount and the women still filed more cases to extort more amount of money from the guy. And the man can do nothing to stop this. The man can do nothing to get out of this. This is literally like he has fallen into a pit hole which he cannot come out of no matter what.